Alright, this video is about the endocrine system. The endocrine system is very similar to the nervous system, but it is a set of glands that releases hormones into the bloodstream. The endocrine system includes any of the parts of the body that actually release hormones. So there are parts in your brain that release hormones, as well as sex organs that release hormones, but it travels through the bloodstream. Okay, so how is the endocrine system similar and yet different from the nervous system? Well, the nervous system uses neurotransmitters, which are chemical messages. The endocrine system uses hormones, which are also chemical messengers. Okay, so the hormones and the neurotransmitters are both chemical messengers. They both travel through the body. They both tell parts of the body sometimes similar things. Okay. But in the case of the endocrine system, the hormones are passing through the bloodstream. Okay, so they will affect actual tissues throughout the bloodstream. And because they travel through the bloodstream, it's going to be slower. So it's going to be a slower message system, but it is a message that is going to last longer. So that's why with hormones, for example, if you have a hormone that affects your mood, it may affect your mood for several hours, several days. Whereas a neurotransmitter affects your mood, it will only last for a little while. And then I have a lovely picture of all of your crazy hormones that can affect you and can last a long time. All right, next slide is looking at specific parts of the endocrine system. So the adrenal gland. The adrenal gland is a specific part of the endocrine system that is concerned with releasing energy and giving us energy during times of stress. So this would be the adrenal gland would kick in, for example, when you're stressed out. If you have ever pulled an all-nighter and you're all stressed out because you're trying to finish a project or study for a quiz or a test or whatever, what you will notice is, probably aided by caffeine, but you will notice that probably you are all of a sudden, you're getting later and later, but you're still having more energy because your adrenal gland is kicking in because you're stressed. Okay? Now the flip side of that obviously is that once that stressor is gone, all of a sudden it just zaps us and we're just like dead tired. Okay? That's because of the adrenal gland. The pituitary gland, on the other hand, it's located in the brain. It's going to control the hypothalamus. We'll talk about the hypothalamus a little bit later, but it's going to release hormones that control growth. And so the pituitary gland is going to really get into action in the first few years of life, between, if you ever have seen a newborn up until about age 3. Okay, there's huge changes and physical changes as well as intellectual changes from an infant to a 3-year-old. And so that's going to be affected by the pituitary gland, because the pituitary gland is going to help that large growth period. And then after 3, we kind of go through a slow growth period, obviously, up until we hit puberty. Once you hit puberty, then you hit a nice big growth period again, okay? And then you're kind of done growing. So, hate to break it to you, but ladies out there, you are probably your adult height by this point, because you're probably done with puberty and that's about it. Guys, you have a better shot of having another growth spurt. Men sometimes have growth spurts towards the end of the teen years, early 20s. Not always, but it could happen. But again, that's the pituitary gland kicking in. Okay? They will also really influence other hormones that are released as well in the body. So I have a couple pictures. This one I found interesting. It was a picture for this drug that's supposed to help your adrenal balance and your adrenal gland. But I love the message on it that, okay, number one, the picture is not telling you anything about what the product is about. I love how advertising is trying to sell you, things just with the pictures. But if you read the text, it tells you absolutely nothing what the adrenal gland does. The best thing on the bottom was regulating stress, but that's very vague. Okay, best thing to remember is that adrenal gland gives you energy. And then I have a picture of a baby against a tape measure because that illustrates the pituitary gland and that the baby is growing and changing. Particularly in the first year of life, it's amazing how much they gain in weight and length, because at that point in time they don't stand. So just in the first year of life. All right, and the last slide I have to show you is lovely diagrams, female and male endocrine system. So we do have obviously some things that are in common. So the adrenal glands, the pancreas, the parathyroids, the thyroids, the hypothalamus, and the pituitary are all the same in men and women. Obviously, the sex organs are the ones that are different, but they are included in the endocrine system. So the testes and the ovaries are included in the endocrine system. Okay, so that was about the endocrine system. That's all I really wanted to tell you. I just wanted to make sure that you understand how it works. I'll talk to you next in class. Bye.